The Nun in the Window. A haunting story, based on the true history of Borley Rectory, Essex, England. Prologue. The Forbidden Grave. It began, as many tragedies do, with love. In the quiet village of Borley in the 14th century, a monk from the local monastery fell in love with a nun from a nearby convent. By candlelight, beneath cloisters and grave shadows, they planned to elope, flee the religious life and start anew. They never made it. The monk was hanged. The nun was bricked up, alive, within the convent walls, condemned to die slowly in darkness for her sin. For centuries after, the land where Borley Rectory would later rise seemed hushed, unsettled, like it remembered her final cries. Chapter 1. The House That Heard. The year was 1863 when Reverend Henry Bull moved into the freshly built Borley Rectory with his wife and 14 children. Designed to house clergy in comfort, it was large, Gothic, and oddly placed, built on top of the nuns' rumored burial ground. The strange happenings began almost immediately. At night, the family would hear footsteps pacing empty hallways. Doors locked themselves. Servant bells rang without touch. Reverend Bull's daughters often claimed to see a woman in a long grey habit drifting silently across the gardens. She always vanished near the old well. Reverend Bull dismissed it as nonsense, until the day he looked up from his study window and saw her staring back at him. He died in that same chair, years later, his face still turned toward the glass. Chapter 2. The Phantom Coach. When Reverend Guy Smith and his wife Mabel moved in decades later, they were unaware of the legends, until the bells rang again. Mabel found notes scrawled in the margins of old Bibles: "Light the lamp. She cannot see in the dark." One evening, just after dusk, Mabel stood at the front steps and heard something approach, a rustling, the clatter of hooves. Then, out of the fog, a horse-drawn coach burst into view. Inside sat 4 faceless passengers and a driver with no head. The coach passed through the iron gate, without sound or shadow, and vanished before it touched gravel. Mabel never stood outside alone again. Chapter 3. The Seance and the Prophecy. In 1929, famed paranormal investigator Harry Price arrived with notebooks, cameras, and a team of skeptics. For a year, they catalogued flying stones, ghostly scribbles on walls, cold spots, and groaning floorboards. One night, during a séance, the medium Helen Glanville fell into a deep trance. Her hand scribbled wildly, "The house will burn. Flames will reveal her tomb." On a February night 10 months later, the rectory caught fire. Locals gathered to watch as flames lit up the sky. In the blaze, several witnesses swore they saw a figure, a woman in grey, walking through the fire, untouched. After the wreckage cooled, Price found bones in the cellar. He said they belonged to the nun. The coroner disagreed. They were animal bones. Price buried them anyway. Epilogue. The ashes whisper still. The house was demolished, but the land is not silent. To this day, visitors to the nearby Borley Church report strange happenings. Stones hurled by invisible hands. Whispers behind gravestones. The soft rustle of fabric in the grass. And sometimes, late at night, if you stand where the rectory once stood, you might see her. A pale face behind a phantom window. Watching, waiting, still hoping someone will finish the escape she never could. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe for more.